Welcome back to Spinning the Past. I was organizing some things in my stash and I came across these and I want to talk about this and how this relates to hand spinning. So a lot of people already know that I really like Lopi wool. This particular put up of it is called Unspun. And because if you can see right here, they took it with, this is a pencil roving, so this comes out of the machine like this. This has no twist in it. This piece between my fingers has no twist. This has no twist to it. There is no, see, maybe you can see, there's twist. This is not twist. But the fibers are long enough that for certain applications, that's perfectly fine. I've made shawls with it. I've made a cape with it. I've made other things with it, and I haven't had any issues. This is a doubled up, so you can see the fabric of this, and it looks just fine, doesn't it? This looks like any kind of worsted weight yarn right there, right? Remember, the fibers are long, so when you make a knit stitch, it's hard for me to do this one-handed, but it kind of goes up and over, and it kind of weaves. So the fiber goes up and over, and that kind of solidifies or makes more solid the fabric that you're knitting. And in certain applications, that is wonderful. Love it. I really love this. But going back in time, though, I went to a yarn store. This is many years ago, and I'd never seen this. I've never seen this type of Icelandic. They were selling that. I'd never, and I saw a sampler like this, and I was really into sock making, and especially warm, thick socks. And this, oh my gosh, this is really well. This is really, really nice. So as you can see here, this looks like a perfectly normal sock, right? This is, I did just a basic top down. This is a top down version of it, I think, of socks. I do toe up now socks, but I think I'm still doing top down. This is 2 strands, so one of the denim and then one of a gray. So it's double thickness, so it's kind of the same as this worsted in thickness. So really nice wool socks for the winter. But I did this one, and that was fine. And then I did the second pair. But when I washed it, I want to show you what happened after use and washing. You see this? The heel just disintegrated. I didn't do anything extra special. I hand washed. They didn't go into the washing machine. Nothing like that. It's just the yarn disintegrated through abrasion. So again, it was a learning moment for me, and I want you to also learn why twist is important. Had this yarn right here had twist, any twist, it would have lasted much longer than after the first wearing. If it had even higher twist, it would even be stronger. If it had been blended with a nylon or something, a monofilament or a silk or something like that, this would have not happened either. And we read the historical novels like, gosh, I have to fix my heels and toes, because those are the ones that got most of the abrasion. And a lot of the yarns back then were woolen spun, and woolen is really not the appropriate yarn for socks, even though it looks nice. So I just want to show you, again, for certain applications, I love my Unspun. I haven't had any issues. But in this application, where you're going to have abrasion, use, there's pressure points, everything, then the threads, the yarns just kind of disintegrate right there. Just a little lesson, why spinning is important, why our ancestors figured out that, hey, if I add twist to this, if I just add twist, that makes this yarn stronger. And I think I've shown you in other ones, I'm holding the camera with one but this thing pulls apart pretty easy. So if I just yanked on this right here would pull off. But knit it double and knit it in a tight thing, and for non-abrasion wear. So I would say shawls, even sweaters, but anything like gloves or that will kind of stick away from the unspun. So again, unspun and certain breeds. Remember, this is Icelandic, so it's a longer staple length. Many of the sheep are very short staple length. So you couldn't even get away with this kind of, it would just disintegrate even while you're knitting. It's just, there's no length to it. But this particular breed, Icelandic, has longer lengths to it that gives it some stability. But if I add twists to it, and I'll see if I can get this one. So this is kind of the same thing. This is let loopy, but let's see if I can get on there. This has twist. This has twist. This is much stronger than this. And this is the same company, almost the same colorway, except this has twist, this doesn't have twist. So on applications that I need strength, and this is going to be a little doggy coat, and pulling on and off and that movement and everything, I'm going to use this spun one as opposed to the unspun. And this was my sampler for the unspun for a doggy coat. But then again, applying the principles of spinning, like which do I need in this application? Do I need something that is going to get used and manipulated and braided and everything? If it's that, then I will use the spun. And if not, then I will gladly use this beautiful, beautiful unspun Icelandic. This is called a plate. I think it's like Blotolope. So beautiful plates. Again, shawls, I've done this. Capes, I've done it. A vest, I've done it. Lots of different applications for this. But what is the project you're making? Would this be appropriate for heels and toes on socks? And I learned by sad experience that the answer is you need twist. You need twist for these places here. You need some good twist, some good hard twist, and or carry something else that is going to be a strengthening fiber. Yeah, same thing happened with another pair, and I'll show that in a different video. How things are spun will lead to your final product. So there's that relationship between the yarn and your final project. Because, you know, this takes a while to do. It took me a while to do this and follow the pattern and everything, and I was so looking forward to this, to wearing this for a long time, and this is what happened. And again, that was before even before I started Master Hand Spinner. So I really didn't understand, you know, if the lady in the shop made a sampler, then it must be fine. But she had, later on, I asked her, and she says, oh, I didn't know it would do that. I just knitted it up and it looked fine to me. But she didn't actually use it. So she didn't know from the sampler that with actual use that it wouldn't be a practical yarn to use. Anyway, so just because you go into a yarn store, just because they want you to buy something, just because there's a sampler on the wall, does not mean that that yarn is appropriate for that actual project. That's kind of the moral of this story. We live and learn. I learned a lot, and I hope you learn too, to examine the yarns that you're buying, examine what your end product will be, and not to believe all the samplers you see in the shops. Talk to them. Have they actually used this in a sock themselves? Had they would have had the same result that I did. Again, these were hand washed. This is like after one use, one wearing. So I'm hoping that this video was helpful to you. I have a couple more videos I want to try to do today. So I'm wishing everyone well, and I'll see you next time on Spinning the Past.